That's what you call standing on business right there. Oh, makes contact. Devastating shot. This dude is about to leave his feet. He is stunned. He is petrified. He ragdolled him. Flapjack, pancake, it's a wrap. This dude wears a neck roll, guys. So this guy is about business on the field. When was the last time you seen a guy wear a neck roll? Midwest corn-fed type of offensive lineman that just is about his business. Oh my gosh. This dude, he looked like he got hit by a train. Getting crushed by a building is exactly what we're talking about right here. That is a pancake action, the best I've seen so far out of all these prospects. This guy is a ragdoller, a manhandler, a bully. More manhandling, more flapjack action, more short stacking. Let's check those. Boom! That man has left his feet. I don't know if you can see it because he's in white and they're in the snow. Dude's feet is in the air. He looks like, Uncle Phil throwing Jazzy Jeff out of the building right now.
Speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history. I can't explain
Yo,
it.
it's your boy, Big Mike Raider. And we're here from day 14 of the 30 Days, 30 Prospects, Season 3, where today we're covering Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State, 6'4", 215 pounds, a big target at the X spot. He can also play at the Y. He can also play in the slot. This guy moves around a lot. He can run the entire route tree. We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons of Jayden Higgins, and then we're going to talk about where can we pick him up. Do we pick him up in the second round? Is he going to be available in the third? We'll talk about it. We'll get all into it, and then we'll do the quick clip and my breakdown, and then we're going to get out of here. But before we get anything started, make sure you guys like the thumb, hit the sub, and share with your folks. Big Mike Raider, Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State. Like I said, he's 6'4", 215 pounds. Let's read the review from PFF.com. Shout out to PFF.com. Higgins is a reliable possession receiver who can run a diverse route tree from any alignment thanks to impressive foot quickness. He won't be an athletic standout in the NFL, but he'll often be in the right place at the right time. So this guy, I'm not going to lie to you, man. He seems to me to be a guy, one of the fan favorites from a couple of seasons ago. He kind of reminds me of a Mac Hollins. Similar build, about 6'4". Mac Hollins was a little bit bigger, 220 plus pounds, but he also is that big target that's vertical down the field and really quick, right? Big, fast target is what we're talking about here. He kind of reminds me of that, but with a better upside, of course. And I think that if he joins the Raiders and if we pick him up, he can play that similar X role where he's good for a few vertical routes here and there and give him some time to kind of sharpen up his skills to be more of a threat in other aspects. But initially, I can see him being that vertical threat every once in a while and acting as that Mac Hollins did a couple years ago. But let's get to some of the pros. Shout out to PFF.com providing the pros and cons with this one. Smooth hips and his breaks for a bigger receiver. Fluid movement, 6'4", 215 pounds, very fluid movement for a dude that size. Quick chops, footwork when he's about to make contact with DBs. He's also very physical, right? Good footwork. He's very fluid in his movements. Natural hands catcher who consistently catches away from the body. That's a plus, right? So he's using his hand strength. He's using his ability to catch with his hands and making big plays. And also being a big target, kind of boxing out defenders, so to speak. Being a bigger target can box out like a smaller corner who's probably standing around 6 foot 6'1". He can use his body and physicality to be that enforcer when it comes to 50-50 balls. The next one is good route running nuance with head and shoulder fakes to create separation. So technique is everything with him, right? He's using his head movements. He's trying to fake out defenders, making him think he's going one way and he's actually going another way. So that's a plus for him, right? Active hands versus press and getting off breaks cleanly. So he's not afraid of some physicality, right? Somebody's in his face. He's using his hands to break off. He's using a little quick step. He's clubbing. He's doing those kind of things to provide some separation. So that's one thing that you like to see in an X receiver and a big target at that, right? Can run the whole route tree, which is very, very good for somebody his size. He can run a slant. He can run a drag route. He goes vertical. He does it all, right? That's why he can play in the X position. He can go play Y. He can go in the slot. Very versatile. You have to keep him accounted for on every play. He's a defensive coordinator's nightmare. But those are some of the pros of Jayden Higgins. Let's talk about some of the cons because he is not a perfect prospect. We got to talk about it. Some of the cons includes top speed will be average at best in the NFL. So even though he runs around a 4.5 40, that speed doesn't necessarily show on film sometimes. At top speed, we won't see that top speed. Sometimes when he's, vertical and he's by himself, he's going to break off and show that speed. But in game situations, most of the time, you're not going to get that top speed, unfortunately. And maybe that comes with confidence of an offense. This is a guy who moved around initially from Eastern Kentucky, played at a smaller college, and then finished his last couple years at Iowa State. So he's been bouncing around, maybe still trying to get acclimated to an offense, and maybe, with time and due time, being consistent, you'll be able to see that top speed because things become second nature to him. So that's what I'm going to hope for him as far as showing that top speed, right? Pushes off a decent amount to create separation, but isn't called for it. So you guys know how it goes with the Raiders, man. If he becomes a Raider, he's gonna get called for those kind of calls. Who's like when it comes to create separation. We don't get called. We don't get the favor for most of the refs in some cases. So he's gonna have to clean that up a little bit, especially if he becomes a Raider. Won't be a consistent yards after catch producer. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these big targets aren't, right? Usually you see a yak monster who a smaller type of receiver. You're looking at a guy like an Antonio Brown. You're looking at a guy like Julian Edelman, those type of guys who are like 5'10", 5'11". Those are the guys who are kind of yak monsters. You don't necessarily see a dude at around 6'4", 6'5" being that yards after the catch monster, right? You usually see those guys being the 50-50 ball guy, the vertical route guy. But not only does he bring the vertical routes, he can run all the route trees. So that is an impressive thing to see for somebody his size, like I've said before. So him not being that yards after the catch producer doesn't bother me too much. But doesn't matter what I think. What do you guys think about Jayden Higgins, his pros and cons? What are we talking about? How do you guys feel about it? I know a lot of you guys are big fans of him. Let me hear what you think about it, man. So let's get into some of the draft placement here for Jayden Higgins. Shout out to NFLDraftBuzz.com. We're going to talk about where he can be drafted. And do the Raiders pick him in the second round? Do we wait for him in the third round? Is he going to be available in the third round? Let's check it out. Like I said, shout out to NFLDraftBuzz.com with the list. They have a full list of all the experts where they think he's going to be selected in this year's draft. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. So here we go. ESPN has him going at number 34. So there are some experts that have him really highly regarded to be that early second round guy, right? He's by ESPN, they're saying that he's that early second round guy at 34. We just missed him in that scenario as we pick number 37 overall. So ESPN says 34. WC Gridiron has him at number 40. So a little bit past where we're at, right? Draft Tech has him at number 47. Todd McShay also has him at number 47 overall. PFF has him at number 51. So you're looking at like sort of the back end of that second round, right? MDDB has him at number 55 overall. Draft Buzz has him at number 59. And then kind of rounding it off, a little bit of some outliers. NFL.com has him at number 79. 247 Sports has him at 82. And CBS has him at number 86. I'm going to be honest with you. I think picking him at number 37 overall would be an excellent choice. I don't think he's going to drop to the third at number 68 where we pick. I think 37 is our only chance to pick him, and I'm okay with picking him at that position. Like I said, this guy is an excellent X-receiver who can play in the Y, who can also play the slot. This guy is versatile. He can run the route tree, and he's 6'4", big target. And initially, where I see him, how he fits with us, he's going to be that vertical threat every once in a while, something that we've been missing for a while, a big target who's also a vertical threat. And like I said, he kind of reminds me of Mac Hollins with a bigger upside. He kind of reminds me of that from a couple years ago. But you guys let me know what you think about all this, man. Draft placement, pros and cons, all that good stuff. Let me know. Hey, let me know, man. Let me know. But with that, we're going to get into the film. So, guys, buckle up. Jayden Higgins took the long road to national recognition, but the journey has turned him into one of the more intriguing wide receiver prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft. Originally at Eastern Kentucky, Higgins transferred to Iowa State, where he made the most of his lone Power 5 season. The 6'4", 215-pound receiver posted 1,185 yards and 9 touchdowns on 87 receptions in 2024, averaging over 13.6 yards per catch and proving himself as one of the premier vertical threats in college football. Higgins thrives on the outside, using his size and length. For the Las Vegas Raiders, Higgins would be a strong day 2 pickup with immediate red zone upside and long-term wide receiver 2 potential. With Brock Bowers commanding attention and Jacoby Myers working underneath, Higgins could operate as a field-stretching X-receiver, something the Raiders currently lack. His ability to win contested catches will provide a new dimension to the offense, especially on deep shots and in goal-to-go situations. Drafting Higgins in the second round gives the silver and black a physically imposing wideout with big play potential, ideal for an AFC West arms race that demands explosive offensive weapons. With proper development, Higgins could become a key contributor in Vegas for years to come. That is Jayden Higgins in a nutshell, vertical monster. There's a lot of people say that he can run the route tree. There's a lot of people say that he's kind of limited. We're going to have to see. But I think that is worth the shot. I think that is worth the risk. Either way, he's very versatile. He can play at many positions on the field. But you guys let me know what you think, man. That is 30 days, 30 prospects, day 14. Hey, we're on the halfway mark, man. We are already at the halfway mark, and we're about 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. But, hey, I'll see you guys on the next one. And before we go anywhere, man, you guys know the deal. Make sure you guys like the thumb, hit the sub, and share with your folks. Peace. That's what you call standing on business right there. Oh, makes contact, devastating shot. This dude is about to leave his feet. He is stunned. He is petrified. He ragdolled him. Flapjack, pancake, it's a wrap. This dude wears a neck roll, guys. So this guy is about business on the field. When was the last time you seen a guy wear a neck roll? Midwest corn-fed type of offensive lineman that just is about his business. Oh my gosh. This dude, he looks like he got hit by a train. Getting crushed by a building is exactly what we're talking about right here. That is a pancake action, the best I've seen so far out of all these prospects. This guy is a ragdoller, a manhandler, a bully. More manhandling, more flapjack action, more short stacking. Let's check. Boom. That man has left his feet. I don't know if you can see it because he's in white and they're in the snow. Dude's feet is in the air. He looks like, Uncle Phil throwing Jazzy Jeff out of the building right now.
Speaking Sumerian, the oldest language in human history.